Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another Stack Supplement Podcast episode where we round up all of the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past week. And last week, it was definitely one of the more exciting weeks we've had in I would say a few weeks, maybe a couple months. We were just overloaded with some exciting news and announcements, and we're going to go over all of them in this episode. And there's probably some I'm cutting out, but we're going to try and include them all. And we're going to kick this episode off quickly with something that wasn't really a new release or as exciting as some of the other items. It was extremely intriguing, and it is in relation to the UK gaming brand Sneak. These guys have made a lot of noise, and we've mentioned them on this podcast many times in the past. They like to bring the creative energy. They like to do things differently. They like to mix things up, and they've shown that many times in marketing, launches, flavors, you name it. They're pretty interesting brand, to say the least, and it's worth noting that not only do they lead the way, and I guess not necessarily lead the way, but they do things quite differently and not really following any trends. They're doing it well as a gaming brand, and they're kind of doing it better than most supplement companies, sports supplement companies, all while specializing in that gaming area. But what they did, or what happened was last week Sneak announced a new flavor in one of the most unusual ways or stories we had heard. So apparently Sneak had organized teasers, images, videos, the usual marketing stuff for a new flavor of its gaming supplement, which is raspberry lemonade. Now what happened is someone apparently snuck into their warehouse and stole a tub of the new flavor and threw it up on eBay, and they were notified with messages and whatnot, being like, "Is this a new flavor?" And they kind of, instead of sort of, I guess, making a big deal about it, they would just threw it on social media and said, "Look, secret's out. This is how it was unveiled. We're going to give the marketing team time off this week." And I just thought it was one of, again, we called it one of the most unusual ways to reveal a product we've ever seen, and it is. It's just sounds interesting. It's not something you can really plan based off of the story, and just thought it was really cool. Not even just cool for that a fan would steal the tub and put it on eBay to kind of not necessarily ruin the surprise, but I guess get the jump on everyone and get it up, but just that the company went on and marketed it that way. And I thought it was just a really cool situation and interesting way to go about things. You can read more about it on social media on the brand's page, and they've got a nice little story, and it's pretty cool, pretty interesting. But as I said, Sneak has been just very creatively consistent, or consistently creative, and it's been fun to watch and fun to follow. The next story, we actually have two, and they are from Peak Performance Labs, who announced an all new, not even announced, completely unveiled and then put up for pre-order an all-new product and a new and improved version of one of its star supplements in the Balanced Pre-Workout Nuclear Pre. So basically, it was actually last year, I think, the brand revamped Nuclear Pre and basically called it a Nuclear Pre 2.0 or V2 or whatever. And it was a sequel. It was very known as. It was made very obvious that it's a follow-up. This version, they've kind of not really called it a 2.0 or anything. They've just rolled it out with a few changes. And Peak Performance Labs has become very, very popular, very reputable, known to be packing out its products. And so it's no surprise that this new and improved version of Nuclear Pre makes just tiny little tweaks that will certainly intensify the experience. So nothing has been done to the pre-workout variety of ingredients. They've all been kept the same. All of the ingredients from the previous version are in this new version, but there are 5 increases. So you now get a little more beta-alanine at 3.5 grams per serving, 15 milligrams extra of synephrine, which puts it at 75 per maximum serving. There's an increase to rhodiola at half a gram now per serving. And then you get an additional is it 25% of aerogenesis, which now stands at 250 milligrams. And then there's a bump from caffeine from 350 milligrams up to 400. So like I said, it's increases all around, it's improvements all around, and it's pretty cool to see a brand like this just make these small tweaks, just these small improvements. A lot of the focus of the increases are for ingredients in the energy and focus department, so I imagine this will kind of elevate its level on that side, make it a little more intense, make it a little more stimulating, and an all-around better pre-workout, because again, nothing else has changed. It didn't remove anything and didn't lower anything. Everything else is the same. So if you love it, you're going to love it more by the sounds of things. But as mentioned, there were 2 products last week from Peak Performance Labs, and the other one was an all-new supplement that finally put the Canadian brand in the amino category. Now, the brand hasn't been around for that long, at least in the grand scheme of things, and it's expanded into a couple categories after its original debut, but amino was one that it hadn't really touched, and it was only a matter of time, I guess. The categories it's picked so far have been pretty mainstream, and amino is very mainstream, but as the name of the product suggests, Nuclear Intra, it isn't so much an amino, it's more of an amino-based intra workout. And I guess the difference that they've tried to outline here is that this isn't just an amino supplement. You do get a 9 grams of all 9 EAAs to support muscle recovery and repair. But alongside that, you get 2 grams of ornithine, carnitine tartrate, half a gram of agmatine, coconut water, electrolytes, and then there's 20 grams of carbs per serving. 10 grams of that is from premium highly branched cyclic dextrin, and then the other half is from maltodextrin. So it is, again, indeed an amino-based intra-workout. It's got all the characteristics of that more comprehensive, that more advanced supplement to basically power you through your workout rather than fuel you with aminos, and rightfully given that intra-workout category name. But you can check that out in more detail on our website. Both the new and improved Nuclear Pre and Nuclear Intra are now available for pre-order on the brand's website, and if you get in early on the pre-order, I do believe there's like a sale or savings or something, and so it'd be worth getting in early. You can check out all those formulas on our website. Just search on stack.com, Peak Performance Labs, or Nuclear Pre, Nuclear Intra. The next story we go to, now again, it was an extremely exciting week, and usually we keep these episodes to 30 minutes, so I'm going to try that and maybe talk a little faster, but the next story we have is from the Athletes Company, or what was kind of what we used to call it a lot back in the day, and that is Muscle Farm. So Muscle Farm has come out and announced something pretty exciting, but not too surprising, I guess, with the trend these days. A lot of companies are entering the beverage game or the energy drink market. So Muscle Farm is doing just that. They've announced they're coming out with an energy drink. Now, it was a little tricky trying to understand the announcement. So apparently they're coming out with a family of beverages, and they've previewed 3 of them. There's one called Wreckage Energy, Shred Energy, and Combat Energy. Now, Combat and Wreckage are obviously named after past or previous Muscle Farm supplements, and Shred Energy, I guess you could relate to Shred Sport, which is a fat burner from Muscle Farm, or even Shred Matrix, which is its original fat burner. But in either way, you kind of get the idea. Combat Energy, Shred Energy, and Wreckage Energy sound to me, or at least from what it sounds like, they're going to be energy drinks. I have to imagine that there's different twists on them. Maybe the Shred Energy has fat burning ingredients, maybe Wreckage has some pre-workout performance beverage ingredients, and then Combat Energy, I mean, Combat was originally a protein powder. It has expanded since into other parts of it, but I don't know. It's either way. What we do know is we have details on Combat Energy. That's the one we've had a preview of and we've had a closer look at. From what we can see, there are 2 highlights that we can make out on the can, and it says that you get 300 milligrams of caffeine in Combat Energy and 600 milligrams of BCAAs, which, as I just mentioned in Nuclear Intro, which had 9 grams of EAAs, 600 milligrams of BCAAs is not a lot. Definitely far from the 5 grams that we typically see or higher. It also has no carbs, calorie, sugar. So they've, at least Combat Energy will be a completely nutritionally friendly energy drink. And we can confirm the flavors for each of those drinks, which it will be different from drink to drink. Combat Energy is going to be grapefruit lime, Shred Energy is going to be green apple, and Wreckage Energy is going to be a traditional fruit punch. Now, again, I'm not too sure what the differences are going to be with these different beverages. Again, their names kind of feel like that there's going to be a different kind of drink for a different category type thing. We'll hopefully have more information, but all of these energy drinks from Muscle Farm, Wreckage, Combat, and Shred Energy, they're rolling out this summer, so they're certainly not far away. And big companies do tend to like to get information out early. But it's definitely going to be exciting to see Muscle Farm jump into the space, not just because it's trying to do it with one drink, which has been the case with every brand as far as I can remember. Ghost obviously got in with Ghost Energy. Obviously Rep Sports came out with Rain. It's very rare that you see a brand debut with a family of beverages, especially when it's that's not their premier kind of game. That's not their first line market, I guess. Muscle Farm obviously is mostly known for its range of supplements, and I guess they're going to dive into beverage. And if you're a long-time fan of Muscle Farm, you will actually remember this isn't the first time they've entered energy drinks. It was way back in 2015 that they had Energy Sport Zero, powered by carnosine beta-alanine, alongside guarana, ginseng, B vitamins, and taurine and caffeine. And yeah, those were released in 2015. I vaguely remember trying them at either the Arnold or the Olympia. But yeah, they debuted, so they were kind of in the energy drink game long before I guess all these other brands jumped on. But obviously they discontinued since then, and now the fire's been relit and they're jumping back in this year or this summer. So stay tuned for more information on that. I think it'll be interesting to see how they tackle the industry, the energy drink game, especially with what seems like 3 different energy drinks with the Shred, Combat, and Wreckage. We now move to another legacy, long-running brand, and as I mentioned in the story of this on the website, this is the first new product I've seen from BSN for, I would say, a few years. 3 years, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been long enough that I can't remember, and I usually have a pretty good memory, much like the Muscle Farm energy drink situation I remembered back in 2015. So it's been a while since I've seen something entirely new, or at least all new, from BSN. And in this past week, they came out and announced 2 new products. Now, to be fair, neither of these are entirely new supplements. They are spin-offs as such, or new versions of previously released supplements. There is Amino X EAAs, obviously a version of the brand's popular Amino X. And then there's a new version of its long-running signature pre-workout InnoExplode called InnoExplode Vaso. Now, we don't know everything about either of these supplements, just that they're coming soon, and we have a few of their ingredient highlights. Amino X EAAs will have 5 grams of BCAAs and 5 grams of the other 6 EAAs, so giving you a total of 10, all 9 EAAs for recovery. And then as for BSN's InnoExplode Vaso, what we know so far about this is the highlights on the front of the tub, and it does look pretty solid. Obviously, I'm just going off the highlights. I don't know what else is in there. But it has a full 3.2 grams of beta-alanine, 300 milligrams of caffeine, and 8 grams of citrulline. Now, that 8 grams of citrulline is pure citrulline. That's not citrulline malate or anything like that. That is a hefty dose of pure citrulline, similar to what we just saw in PVL's Dominate. And that's a lead ingredient in that one as well, at that same 8-gram dose. So it's looking good for now. Again, if we roll it over and that's all that's in there, I'll be a little disappointed, but I think the serving size of this thing was quite hefty. I can't remember exactly what we worked it out to be, but there's, based on what they've shared, there's plenty of room for other ingredients in the formula. So I'll be interested to see the full formula behind that again. It's been a while since I've seen anything new, at least all new from BSN. Most of the things we've seen from the past few years were flavor extensions, specifically those Cold Stone creations. So it's cool to see BSN back in the spotlight. Next up, we go to Unbound supplements. Now, this was kind of a mystery that surfaced and in a few days revealed itself, and we followed it along. And so Unbound supplements is a all new, more advanced approach to supplements from NutraBio. And I would say more advanced in comparison to the NutraBio supplement. So it's a very like a step up, I guess, or a more premium advanced approach entirely compared to NutraBio, where NutraBio's got like a very nice mainstream selection of supplements covering you from advanced pre-workouts and post-workouts and intra-workouts, but it also covers you more on the simplistic end, with a lot of standalone supplements and straightforward things. So NutraBio, I guess, is a very wide, very strong, very diverse brand, whereas Unbound, which, as I said, is from NutraBio, takes a more premium approach. It doesn't have simple supplements. It doesn't have standalone things. It's just all out, one product, one category type thing. And the formulas do reflect that. So they have packed these things out with premium branded ingredients, and they didn't shy away on any of them. So there is a muscle builder, which I thought was actually quite an interesting one. I'll go into that after this. But there was a muscle builder, there is a muscle builder called Build. Then there's a GDA called Slen, testosterone booster called Source, and then those are all capsule products. You then have 3 powder supplements with Unload, which is the flagship stim-free. Then you have Unbent, which is the stim-free pump pre-workout, and then you have Unlock, which is the brand's fat burner. Now, as I said, they've packed these things out with some premium ingredients, and they've given them some solid dosages in all areas. And so I guess I liken it a lot to, actually it's pretty tough to, I guess, the similar brands. I mean, there are a lot out there, obviously, in premium brands, but just to give you an idea on what you're kind of getting here with the Muscle Builder Build, which I actually quite like the look of, they have branded forms of ibicatrin, phosphatidic acid, lexogenin, estrogen, and there's, so they all kind of combine to help build muscle, not really taking that testosterone boosting approach, which again makes sense because Unbound has Source, which is its testosterone booster, and that has a whole bunch of ingredients in itself to help build muscle from that approach. And in that one you get ashwagandha's in the mix, fenugreek, long jack, dim, alongside a whole bunch of few others, but they also have that branded premium approach in there, with KSM, ashwagandha, LJ100 long jack is in there as well, and yet they kind of, like I said, they've pretty much put in premium branded ingredients where they can. But I also liked the specialized approach. As I said, Unbound has taken a very premium angle here, at least compared to NutraBio, which has various pre-workouts, various intra-workouts, aminos, and so on. Unbound kind of just has the one for each kind of category and even for each purpose of category. So, like I said, you have a muscle builder, a capsule muscle builder. Then you have a muscle builder that goes the testosterone route. You then have the fat burner. And another thing I thought is worth noting is that the 2 pre-workouts, Unbent and Unload, are very specific. And I noted that in our story when we shared Unbound last week. Unbent is an all-out pump supplement. It's no holds barred, all-out pump supplement. Where typically, not even typically, a lot of the time these days, there are a lot of supplements that will do the stim-free pump angle, but they'll also put in focus ingredients. Unbound, or NutriBio, who's behind Unbound, did not do that even in the slightest here. They just went flat out, all pumps, nothing else. That was it, just pumps. And I just thought it was cool to see, because typically if you're someone who wants no stim and a pre-workout for pumps, sometimes you get other benefits in the mix. And there will be a crowd that sort of will probably say, look, can we trade some of these focus things or these performance boosters for all-out pump, because I just want pump. That's this. And that's a rarity. I see a lot of supplements come and go. Come into the market and go out onto shelves. But I would say it's very rare to see a pre-workout or a pump pre-workout that specifically only does pumps. And when you check out the formula, see what I mean? They did not throw in really anything, I guess, to help on benefits outside of pumps. You get 4 grams of citrulline. That's pure citrulline. 1.5 of betaine. There's a full 3 grams of NO3 nitrates. Hydroprime glycerols in there. Taurine, vasodrive, grapeseed, Himalayan pink salt. So you see what I mean? They haven't really put anything. Typically, again, you would see a tyrosine or even sometimes a beta-alanine in these stim-free pre's to just, I guess, make them more well-rounded for people who want a pre-workout that doesn't have stims, but still wants that, have a good workout with a variety of benefits. This is really just an all-out pump sub. It reminds me a lot of Supplement Needs with their pre-workout trio. That was primarily focused on what they, the one benefit of pre-workout. You had pre-stim, which is all about kind of stimulation without without caffeine. And that was for energy and focus. And then you had the nootropic supplement, which had a little bit of caffeine, but all out focus. And then you had the pump sub, had a lot of focus on pumps. And that kind of breaks up a single category. And that's kind of what I feel NutriBio and Unbound have done here. Their pump supplement is all about pumps. And then that stimulant pre-workout is truly nothing is really in there for benefits outside of energy and focus. So it doesn't have any pump ingredients or endurance and stuff like that. It's an all-out energy and focus supplement. And I kind of like that. I like that dedication, separation, and specialization to give you what you want. You can just, if you just want energy and focus, this is for you. If you're someone who wants a balanced supplement, then yeah, but I guess I get the sense that Unbound is going to be building their lineup, building it out to similar to Supplement Needs, where you'll probably get a supplement that has an endurance base and you can stack it with this. And I like that approach. I think if you caught our review of Supplement Needs pre-stim, I love the versatility of that kind of thing. And just the versatility of specializing pre-workouts. But you can check out Unbound for yourself. Go to the site, type in Unbound, or visit, I believe it's unboundsupplements.com. You aren't able to buy any of the supplements from the brand's website just yet. But I believe they're going to have online availability in a couple months. But at the moment, it's exclusive to brick and mortar retailers, so you have to hit in store to pick them up. And but yeah, again, that's only for a couple months. You'll be able to get it online, I think. In 2 months roughly. But you can check it all out. And of course, if you want to find a retailer near you, I believe they have like a store locator on their website. Yeah, they have a store locator. Just checking it now, so you can find them near you. But well worth checking out. Very interesting brand. Very surprising coming from NutriBio. I just loved the marketing of it all. Very different, very out of the box, not characteristic of NutriBio. So it was just cool to see, and it was a cool approach, and it happened so fast. The teaser, to the hints, to the details, to the sneak peeks, and then the launches. It unfolded very quickly, and so it was fun to see. But the last brand we're going to round out this episode with, and this is a lot, is Inspired. And Inspired had one hell of a week last week. They unveiled 3 products, 2 of them incredibly exciting. All of them incredibly exciting, but 2 of them were powder supplements, and then one is something I'm extremely excited to see, and we'll go over that last. But the first one, the first 2 were the Prestige Series pre-workouts, Devastate and FSU. So that brand teased this a little while back. They said that the Prestige Series would be bringing, when it launches, it would be bringing new versions of known inspired supplements, and that is exactly what it unveiled last week. New versions of Devastate and FSU, and they're pretty well rounded. The thing I think it's worth remembering is the Devastate. I actually probably should have said the names. So the Devastate in the Prestige series is called Devastate Global, and it's intended to be a roll-on or a follow-up to Devastate Worldwide, which, if you can remember, is Inspired's more internationally compliant, more, I guess, say mainstream or just international friendly pre-workout that would be more compliant with, or at least more compliant with more markets than Devastate of the Union, or at the time when Devastate Worldwide came out, I can't remember the version they had then, but it was intended to be more compliant. So obviously there were ingredients that you would get in that one and the other, and that approach has been applied to Devastate Global. So you'll find it's a more internationally friendly version compared to its much more intense partner that's also out there right now in Devastate of the Union, and that's our number 1 rated pre-workout. And so this is, if you see the formula, go to the website, you can check it out. It is not the same, or it's not intended to be a replacement to Devastate of the Union, nor is it intended to be, I guess, equal. It's just that more compliant thing, which comes with it, like I said, a smaller selection of ingredients. But they certainly made sure the Devastate name continued strong. They packed this thing out with a balanced blend of ingredients. But most notably, in both Devastate Global and FSU, which they've nicknamed FSU Die Hard, is they've included 3D Pump, which is a new blend of ingredients made up of citrulline, glycerol, and amla fruit extract. And so they've put a full 6 grams of that blend of ingredients into both Devastate Global and FSU Die Hard. So that's kind of the key feature they're leading with in both supplements. But alongside that, you also, and this is the same for both supplements, in Devastate Global, you get 2 grams of betaine nitrate, and then you also get 1 gram of betaine nitrate in FSU Die Hard. So they've kind of balanced them out. Those 2 features, I guess, are kind of the signatures of both supplements. But then from there, you get ingredients, I guess, that make each of those supplements more themselves. So in Devastate Global, alongside the betaine nitrate and the 3D Pump, you also get Pico 2 to enhance performance, regular betaine, tyrosine, a choline blend, caffeine anhydrous, and dynamine and theobromine. So it has those stimulants in there to make it their more stimulating experience and more comprehensive pre-workout. And then FSU Die Hard, alongside the betaine nitrate and 3D Pump, you've got NutriGP, electrolytes, pink Himalayan salt, and pine bark. So you can kind of see the difference there is after the 3D and the nitrates, you basically get ingredients that make Devastate Global more energizing and focus enhancing, and then in FSU it continues that focus on enhancing pumps, very similar to what I was just saying about the Unbound stim-free pump pre-workout. That kind of continues in FSU Die Hard, which I thought was quite interesting because Inspired in the original FSU, it was intended more as a comprehensive pre-workout that you could have without stims and still get a full variety of benefits, focus, pumps, and performance. In FSU Die Hard, it seems to become a more specialized experience. Again, what I said about Unbound, they have kind of dropped those additional benefits and really focused a lot on pumps in this. In fact, all of the ingredients are really geared towards that, outside of maybe the minerals. But yeah, it's both interesting products, both very fitting, I guess, for that the aim of the Prestige series. So if you want those hardcore things, you want that intense top level from Inspired, Devastate of the Union is still very much the one you want to go for. Devastate Global, I guess, is the more mainstream, more internationally compliant, but at the same time, you've now got FSU Die Hard, which is just an all-out pump pre-workout, which isn't what the original FSU is, which I'm not sure if that's going to stay on or change or take another shape. But yeah, both those supplements look solid. But the other interesting story that Inspired dropped at the end of the week, like a damn bomb, was that there is also going to be a Devastate Energy Drink landing very soon. In fact, in Australia, it is becoming available for purchase to retailers this coming week. And they didn't tease it, they didn't hint, they just dropped the bomb, as I said, and we shared it, and I'm extremely excited. They, unlike with FSU Die Hard and Devastate Global, Inspired has shared jack shit about the drinks. All I know is that they are going to have zero sugar, if I'm not mistaken, no sugar, which usually leads to low calories, and being the sports nutrition brand that it is, I imagine it will have low to almost 0 calories. We don't know too much about the formula in the Devastate Energy Drink. All we've been told is there's 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is right around my preferred amount, and they said they were going to be sharing the full formula later, which leads me to think that there is a lot more to it. It isn't just caffeine; there's other things in there, but that amount of caffeine has me feeling that this is going to be more of your anytime energy beverage, not a performance pre-workout carbonated drink, more on that anytime energy, kind of like a 3D, American Energy, Monster Ultra, just something that is there to lift you up, give you some good energy, but not not a better alternative, I guess, or a suitable alternative to a scoop of your pre-workout or stuff like that, or even attempt to be that. You can check out the look of the product. Check out the look of the product on our website. Just type in Devastate or Inspired. It'll be, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's still the feature story on the home page. But it looks very nice. They've gone with just a straight color, similar to Monster Ultra 3D, where it's the branding and the details and the text stays the same, and then it kind of changes the color from flavor to flavor. And we do know there will be 4 flavors: lime, strawberry champagne, peach mango, and fairy floss, which I believe is a cotton candy, that last one. So that's rolling out, will be coming available for purchase to retailers this coming week. I'm hoping to get my hands on the information as quickly as possible, and of course the beverage itself. But again, I think Inspired really topped themselves off last week. Devastate Global, at least the follow-on from Devastate Worldwide, and then the new version of FSU, which really seems to focus more on pumps. Those were pretty big announcements and stories last week, and it was just kind of not blown away, but just topped off the week to make it all about Inspired with the Devastate Energy Drink announcement. I guess it is also worth noting, I don't know if I mentioned it on last week's episode, but Inspired started a insider group as well, and it was through that insider group that the Devastate Global and FSU Die Hard were kind of unveiled and even made available for pre-order. So if you were part of this group, not only were you given full details on the supplements, but you're given an exclusive pre-order launch. And if you actually pre-ordered, you're going to be able to get that pre-order is going to ship to you before anyone else. So even if you pre-order the product later, if you're in that initial collective conscious group, which is what it's called, you'll be getting your products or pre-orders sooner than everyone else. And they also gave people who are part of it a exclusive deal, like a heavy deal. I think it dropped both supplements, which are usually $40 each, to $28 each. And then I think there was a stack that might have even dropped them more. I can't remember. But yeah, so it was well worth getting in on that new insider group. If you go to the site again, type in Inspired or Collective Conscious, it's on there, and you'll get a link. All you got to do is just enter your phone number. So it's no harm. This is very, very easy to get a part of, and the savings are well worth it. So as I mentioned, this was a jam-packed episode. There was a lot to share, a lot to squeeze in, and I left a lot out. But as always, stay tuned to the website. We'll share everything and anything on there. And we'll hopefully have updates on all of those products that we were kind of left in the dark, including Explode Vaso, Amino X EAAs, the DVST8 Energy Drink, of course, and we'll get that information out ASAP. But once again, thank you for tuning in, and we hope to have you back on the next episode.